Well, here we are. It's Friday again, the 31st of July, and we're getting through the summer. The summer's about half over, as you all know, and it's really quiet out there in the auction world, except for one sale. And we're going to get to that in a minute. It's an exceptional sale if you're a collector of Chinese blue and white, particularly from the Ming and transitional periods. You're going to want to see this. It's one of the nicest sales I've seen in a long time, and it's taking place over in Bruges. And we're going to talk about that. But before we get to it, few auction results from this week. Not many things have sold. There aren't that many auctions that have closed that we've been following. A lot of the auction houses, as you know, are on vacation. They're taking time off, and that's what happens. But there are some sales. And there's a few pieces here and there that popped up that we're going to see today that you may have missed, because some of them are sort of one-offs tucked away in auctions here and there, and they often get overlooked and end up getting no attention and going for very reasonable amounts of money. So it might be July and August are usually pretty good opportunities to build your collections because people aren't paying that much attention. There aren't that many specialized sales. A lot of the good things that do turn up are scattered here and there, and we're going to take a look at a few of them. Before we get started, one thing I wanted to mention for the Patreon folks that subscribe here. If you haven't checked the site this week, we've been posting, here it is, we've been posting a whole bunch of videos that we've downloaded and recorded from different museums. The Metropolitan Museum, the San Francisco Museum, the Asian Art Museum there, the Oriental Ceramic Society in Hong Kong and so forth, because they do put up some pretty good videos, but they're a little hard to find sometimes because they don't get a lot of views typically, but they're quite good. And we've been recording them and putting them over on Patreon. I think we're going to put up 7 or 8. Some of these are fairly long. There's one coming up that's over an hour long, hour and 20 minutes long, but they're very, very good. And they cover everything. Here are just a few of them. Chinese landscape paintings, jades and hardstone carvings at the Met. This week, Chinese ceramics. That's an older video. It's a funny video. It's funny to watch a little bit. The information is excellent, but it's a bit dated. It looks like it might have been recorded back in the 80s or the 90s. It's in color and all that, and the information is excellent, but it's sort of an old-timey piece, as they say. And we've also been getting up some new catalogs and whatnot, and there's a whole bunch of things on there. But anyway, if you haven't checked them yet, if you've subscribed, go over and check them, and there are more coming. There's another 4 or 5 or 6 loaded up that will release over the next couple of days for everybody to see. So there you have that. And the other thing I wanted to mention was we one of the videos we recorded this week for the Patreon page was on later Ming bronzes. It was this very good exhibit that was done in Hong Kong. And over on the newsletter page at Bitamount, we also posted a story this week that was published a little while back by Mencken. He's an Asian art dealer on later Chinese bronzes. We posted this last week. So if you had a chance to read it, I hope you enjoyed it. There'll be a new story up there this week, but you can sign up also. If you haven't signed up to get the newsletter, let us, you can fill it out and you can let us know you want to get it, and we'll there's a form that pops up. You just put your email address in and all that. And there's also, of course, a link to the weekly video and other things that we're doing. So just sort of remind everybody of that. All right, now what's been going on? Oh yeah, let's take a look at some upcoming sales or past sales first. This fan we talked about a week ago, and I said it's a wonderful China trade fan, mid-19th century, beautifully done, lacquer blades with watercolor on paper, and then lacquer panels, and then more watercolor on paper. And somebody got a great buy. It went for just $550 plus premium, and it should have brought a bit more. It should have brought $900 to $1,400. So somebody got a really, really good buy. And this was that sale out at Ocean of Art Auction Gallery in Temple City, California. I don't know the auction house at all. They had a few things in there, but this was like one of the only interesting Chinese pieces I saw. So I let everybody know. I hope one of you got it. I hope one of you went out and bought the thing. It's a very, very nice fan. The other thing that happened this week was that beautiful screen, a Japanese screen we talked about a couple of weeks ago, and this was at Clark in Larchmont, New York. And this screen originally was sold sold by the Nega Gallery some time ago, but it was a very, very attractive screen with pheasants and so forth and flowers floating around. Beautiful example, probably early 19th century. They called it Kano School. I don't know if it really is Kano School, but that's what they called it. But at any rate, it was a lovely screen, beautiful quality, nice condition, and somebody got a good buy. I think that was a very fair buy. It was estimated at $1,000 to $1,500, and it went for 18. But I don't think that's a crazy price. This is a pretty big screen. It was 62 inches tall. So it was 5 feet tall and 68 inches wide, opened up. And that's a good sized screen. Looked great hanging on a wall. A lot of people hang screens nowadays instead of use them, folded and standing on a floor, because if you get a little gust of wind through your house, the darn thing will fall over on you and get damaged. So the smartest thing to do with a good screen, if you have it, if you don't have a way to secure it to the floor, is to hang it on a wall. Treat it like a painting. There are brackets you can put on the back. You can hang them. They look great. And they make a room. You can make a room out of these, or a dining room, or a library in your house, or even a very large master bedroom. It would look terrific. So anyway, somebody got a terrific buy on that, I think. And then over to this. Now this is coming up, and this is at Americana Auctions in Rehoboth, Massachusetts. And they've got some other pieces of Chinese porcelain in there, and they've got some pieces that are a little bit, I'm not so sure about, but this is a nice one. This is a Wan Li period slip decorated brown glaze garlic neck vase. Now, it's not perfect. It's got a nick out of the top here and so forth. But if those of you who buy Ming porcelains, you know that these brown slip pieces are quite unusual. They don't turn up very often. They tend to be in the 6 to 9 inch tall area as far as size go. There's the bottom of it. Looks absolutely fine. I don't see anything wrong with it. Now, if you follow this market, you know that normally these slip decorated pieces bring sort of at a minimum of about $3,000 or $4,000, and they can bring as much as $10,000 to $12,000. The estimate on this is $150 to $200 with a $70 opening bid. Right now, the sale is in about a week from now. It's on August 8th, and right now, there are only 5 people watching it, and I'm one of them. It has no bids. I'm going to track it. I'm not going to bid on it, but it's a good thing, though. So if you like Ming wares, you want to take a shot at this, you might pick it up pretty reasonably. You might get it very, very reasonably. All right, just a little strategy here. This is the kind of thing maybe you want to leave alone until the last minute and then go after it, because if you've only got 4 potential serious bidders on a piece, most of them are not. They're not. A lot of them are unlikely to bid at all. They just want to see what it brings, and a few of them might throw a bid in, but they're going to be influenced by the announcement of the low estimate if they don't know much about them and haven't done any homework. So you have a chance here, at least, of getting a very, very nice thing for a modest amount of money, and you can get that little nick at the top repaired. A good ceramic guy can fix that, or a woman could fix that in a day or so. It's not a big repair. It's not an expensive repair either, and it would be pretty easy to do and to blend the color. And then over to this. Now, this is a nice looking little blue and white Korean jar, and this is coming up at Luxor down in Queens, New York on August 9th. If you like Korean blue and white, this is a pretty classic 19th century Joseon period example. It's got good color on it. The flowers are nicely done. It's got a little nick out of the rim. Again, that kind of nick is not a big deal to get fixed. Don't let that discourage you. It's just a little bit of fill and a tiny bit of cobalt, and it's done. It's not a big issue to repair. I didn't see any other damage on this in the ways of a body crack or anything. You got scrolls wrapped in silks on one side. This is a good jar. And it measured, there's the bottom of it. Looks absolutely fine for 19th century. It measures 5 inches tall and 6 inches wide, because these are often wider than they are tall, as a lot of you know. And it's a good one, though. If you're into Korean wares, you want to look at it. The estimate's very fair. I think $600 to $800 with a $100 opening bid. Right now, there's only 9 people watching it, including me. And again, I'm not going to be bidding on it, but I like to watch things so I know what they go for. And that might be an opportunity for somebody. And then over to this, Skinner's or Bonham's Skinner, or whatever name they're using now, I don't know. Out in Marlborough, Massachusetts, there's our carpet sale coming up. The bidding starts on August 4th. All right. And there are a few pretty good rugs in there, some very decorative, nice looking rugs. But they've got this. This is a 5 by 8 foot Ningxia, late 18th, early 19th century Fu lion rug. These are pretty rare birds. They do not turn up very often. And this one looks to be in quite good condition. If you know, an early, 18th and early 19th century Chinese rugs are very, very rare. They do not turn up often in the market. This one has got a very nice light blue in it, which is quite pleasing. There's some yellows in it and so forth. It doesn't seem to be too faded anywhere because Chinese rugs, as you know, are prone to fading if they're put in brightly lit rooms. This one looks to be in pretty good shape. It's a very well-known type. If you have any books on classical Chinese rugs, you'll find this pattern in there with the Fu lion in the center like this. And the estimate on it is what, $4,000 to $6,000, and I think it's got like an $800 opening bid on it or something. It's worth the $4,000 or $6,000. This is a very, very nice carpet, and if you're looking for one, this is it, and it's 5 by 8 feet, so it's good size. You could use it on a floor in a low traffic area, or you could hang it on a wall like a tapestry. Either way. But it's a good example, and like I said, they do big runs like that don't turn up very often. The other rug that caught my eye in this is sort of an odd thing. It's an Indo-Bijar. In other words, Bijars are Persian rugs, as you all know, or many of you know. And the Indians also wove them. There's a very, very good weaving tradition in India, and it's a 20th century rug. They're saying it's pre-1925 first quarter. I don't think it is. I think it's a little bit later than that. It's hard to tell from the photos, though, to be fair to them. But it's got this sort of nice, almost what's known as the Bijar has this Jarouche pattern that they often use with these sort of these red areas spreading around. But the color palette on this rug struck me as being extremely attractive. It's got this very nice soft green outer border with these scrolling vines and leaves and serrated leaves and flowers and so forth. And the middle of it is done like a garden. It's beautifully done. And it's 9 by 12 feet. So it's a big rug, and it looks like it's in good shape. When you buy big rugs, you want to make sure they're in pretty good shape if you plan on putting them on a floor, because you can have one thin spot, and that thin spot will wear through very, very quickly, and now you're facing a big repair. This one looks to have quite good pile on it. I do not. The more I look at it, the more inclined I am to think it's probably done 1920s or 30s, no, 1930s to the 1950s, maybe, somewhere in there. I don't think it's quite that as old as they think it is, but that's just, it could be. I just don't agree with it based on what I'm seeing. But it's a very, very pretty rug regardless. The estimate is just $2,000 to $4,000. It appears to be in excellent shape. I don't think did they say anything? Finely woven, the Garis split arabesque design. Then no mention of condition, but I'm sure it's in good shape. It looks like it is. All right. And the other thing that turned up is this. Now, this is a pretty well-known pattern. You know, many of you know what this is. It's a Fitzhugh China trade export plate made between probably, the late 18th century and, 1810 or so. It's very nicely done. What's unusual about this, though, is the size. This is a monstrous one. It's over 21 inches wide. Most of these platters that you see in this pattern, they're under 15 or 16 inches in width. This is a very big one. It's 19 inches across. So this is the kind of thing you could hang on a wall like a painting or something. But the artwork on it is quite excellent. The details of it, if you come in and look at the shading of the cobalt and the way it's done, the whiteness of the porcelain is excellent. The spearhead border looks very, very good. You have these little creatures running around, the little like chimeras running around the inner circle here, and it appears to be in very, very good condition all around. It looks absolutely fine. The back of it looks good. There's the back of it. There's an old label up here on the top. But I don't see any damage to it anywhere. I see some old staining lines from probably sitting somewhere for too long. That's all cleanable. But the rest of it looks absolutely fine. I don't see anything wrong with it. And the estimate is very reasonable, $100 to $150. All right. It's going to get, again, one of these pieces. The sale is on August 13th at Unique Antiques. Uniques and Antiques in Aston, Pennsylvania. Never heard of them before. I don't think we've ever covered a sale by them, but they have this. They gave it a very, very modest estimate. Its starting price is just $75. There are only 5 people watching it, and the sale starts in just about 2 weeks on the 13th. So again, it could be a great opportunity to buy a very, very good, extremely large piece of China trade. These are very rare. They do not turn up very often in this size. So it should bring $1,000 to $1,500 pretty comfortably. Will it? I bet it doesn't. I bet it goes very reasonably unless a bunch of people jump on it. But we'll see. We'll see. It's worthwhile. It's a worthwhile thing to buy. And then this is coming up. This is a very nice pair. This is at South Bay Auctions down in Michiels, New York. They have good sales there. The sale is on August 12th. And this very nice pair of, they've been lamped, but this very nice pair of soft blue Famille Rose export vases made around, again, 1775, 1780, somewhere in there. They look to be in quite nice shape. They've got very, very beautiful mounts on them, though, for obviously custom for table lamps. They got these stepped light greenish bases on them in this very, very pleasing light blue ground, and then the covers have matched the color of the footstands. So it's overall it's a very, very attractive package, and the vases measure. Let's see, the height, excluding fixtures, the vases measure 13 1/4 inches. So these are pretty good sized table lamps. These are pretty good size, all set up. The estimate is extremely reasonable, $400 to $600, $200 opening bid. Again, worthwhile going after. They should do a lot better than that. But if they don't, you get spectacular pair of table lamps for a modest amount of money. And these are the kind of things, they obviously were done over by a designer or somebody had these mounted. A designer or interior decorator that has these lamps would, if they had them in inventory or buying them for somebody, they would probably charge somewhere between $2,500 and $3,500 for them. Decorators get a lot of money for table lamps, and there's a reason why, because there is a bit of expense in getting them lamped up and drilled. There's a bit of a risk. This time it worked great. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the pieces crack right up the middle when they do it, and they got to eat that. But there's the, hold on, let's go back and see how they look. There. These are nice looking, beautiful shades. They look like shantung shades, nicely shaped. Those are custom shades. Those shades probably cost $600 a piece minimum, maybe $800. Any rate, you can buy the whole package. They think for under $600. They're worth chasing. They're nice looking. And then over to this. Now, this is coming up at Heritage Auctions, also on the 13th of this month. This is a big 18th century armorial Chinese export basin. It is 16.5 inches in diameter. They gave it a $500 to $700 estimate with a $30 current bid. There's about 19 people watching it. This is a very nice piece of porcelain. This is a beautiful example. Absolutely finely detailed, all the cobalt decoration here, and it's got this very interesting, almost like tulip pattern going around the interior of the edge of the bottom right here. Very tiny. They're like little tiny flowers. Rather unusual. Normally they use a spearhead border or something else, but this is sort of great. The only thing that it's got working a little bit against it is it's got a nick out of the bottom down here in the corner, like it got bumped into something. Apparently there's no crack. You could check to make sure there's no associated crack with it. But this is a heck of a basin. It's beautifully done, very fine quality. You can get this lower edge fixed without too much ado. A good ceramic guy can do this. There's a guy I have up in southern New Hampshire who's amazing. He does fantastic work, and this is not a big deal to fix. So if you're looking for a great piece of armorial ware that's large, that would go in the middle of a table, there's a side shot of it. This is it. This is a nice piece. It's a good looking thing. And they've got a few other things, but most of it's rose medallion and rose mandarin and so forth. All right. And the other thing that's coming up, this is also at Skinner's. I meant to mention this was this very nice techie carpet. And it's a square one. It's rather unusual because it's almost square. It's 7 feet by 7 feet, 8 inches. It's very nice condition. It's late 19th century, good color all the way around. It's complete. There's a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of loss at one end here. And the other end looks a little bit better, but it's not significant. There's just a couple of little spots where a few knots fell out, and here's a little bit of it, but that's not a big deal. But the patterning on the rug is excellent. The color is warm, very well done, well laid out, nicely spaced gulls in the center, and the estimate is $1,500 to $2,000, and I think the opening bid is around $700. I don't know what the reserve is on it, if there is one, but it's worth looking into if you're looking for a good techie carpet. That's a pretty good one, and it isn't going to cost you, $5,000 or $10,000. All right, and then this is that Chinese rug again. We discussed that, and then over to this. Now this is a picture that popped up. The sale is on August 30th at Rudnick's in Newman, Georgia. I don't know Rudnick's at all, and they listed this. It's sort of interesting. They listed this as a late 19th century Qing 2-panel screen. And those of you who buy these screens know it isn't Chinese, it's Japanese. But the description says, large Qing Dynasty 2-panel screen executed in the Japanese taste. And it's actually the opposite. It's actually a Japanese screen done in the Chinese taste. And if you look at the boys over here, they're around this very, very distinctive Chinese-looking bronze planter, the coral coming up out of it and so forth, the kids with the tufts of hair and so forth, and then you have the way these rocks are all done. It's all very Chinese in its taste, and there is a red-headed heron ascending, and this looks like an 18th century screen to me. I don't think it's a 19th century one. It looks much more likely to be an mid to late 18th century Edo period example, but regardless, it's a nice screen and it's fairly good size. It's a two-fold, which of course, as you know, the Japanese made lots of two-fold screens. The Chinese hardly ever did. This wasn't something in their wheelhouse. But at any rate, this one measures 70 inches wide and 57 inches tall. So it's almost 5 feet tall and just almost 6 feet wide. It's a very nice size screen. Again, something you could hang like a painting, just put it up. The estimate is $600 to $900, which I think is very reasonable. $100 opening bid. It's only 7 people watching it. Of course, there is 4 weeks to go. It'll probably build up, but if you like nice screens and you like Chinese influence screens on Japanese work, this is a nice one. It's a rather unusual subject matter. All right, and now over to the sale that I was talking about at the beginning that Rob Michiels has. This is really quite a sale. I know a lot of you have already seen it. I've gotten emails from about 15 people saying, have you seen Rob Michiels' sale? I did see Rob Michiels' sale a few weeks ago. I was going through it thinking when it first got posted. As a matter of fact, the day it posted, somebody else emailed me right away and said, have you seen the sale Rob Michiels got? It's amazing. And it's very good stuff. It's about 200 lots, including a few book lots at the end. But there are some extremely rare, and not only are they rare types, the Zhaijing period, Wan Li period, Marken period vases, but they're extremely fine quality. The quality of some of these pieces is just exceptional. And this family that collected these, apparently they bought most of their collection from only the best dealers. They did buy a few things from Rob Michiels over the years, I noticed. I believe they live in Bruges. But they bought a lot of stuff from Marchants and Spielman and some of the better dealers, and they seem to done most of their buying between around the late 90s and about 2015 or 16. That's when the bulk of it took place. They have provenances on all the pieces. They have the receipts posted for many of them. I have no problem with any of. I didn't see anything in here that looked at all, funny or worrisome. It's all just great, very interesting stuff. And just to take a quick look through it, at the beginning you've got some very, very nice bowls. Some of them are signed. Then you have they must have gone through an animal form phase because they have lots of animal forms. You can see here elephants, toads, fish, ludons, fu lions, ducks, people, all kinds of figural porcelains in here. And then you get down here. There's this pagoda formed incense burner from the Ming Dynasty. You've got a very nice. We're going to go through a few of them individually, but I just wanted to give you an overview of just the amount of very good things. This is the mother lode, and there's a few enamel pieces in here that are very good, and so forth. And go down the page, on and on and on. They went through it looks like they went through a Kendi period and a Ewer period here in the middle. And you got some of these porcelain ewers that were made, based on metal forms from the Middle East and so forth. And then coming down further, you got more bowls, you got underglazed red and so forth. Some really, really rare things in here. And that's just page one. And then there's another page. And it just sort of goes on and on and on. There's an early Ming Jiajing enamel bowl with dragons on it. All kinds of stuff. Look at the Wanli plates, Wanli chargers, basins, garlic neck vases, you name it. A few Kosamatsuki pieces, and so on. So let's just get into it. It's really fun. All right. One of the ones that was up front was this incense burner, wonderful quality. Chongsen period, a late Ming example, right at the last period of the Ming Dynasty. This beautiful color, beautiful shape, nice white porcelain, very, very fine detail on it. He's got multiple pictures. There's a landscape. Here they are hauling in. What is this? They're hauling in looks like they're hauling in a big present for the Buddha, and so forth. Palm tree in the back, and all this snow white foot rim. And they got it at Marchance in London. It's excellent. The estimate, 40 to 60,000. Some of the estimates in here are not for the faint of heart. It's fairly aggressively estimated. This is estimated at 40 to 60,000 euros. With a 32,000 euro opening bid. Is it worth it? Yeah, it probably is. But but all of the pieces that have fairly strong estimates. I don't want to discourage anybody because the stuff is all premium stuff. And when you get into the really, really, really premium pieces, it's just a matter of are you willing to pay for it. And it's a chance to get some great things that were accumulated through mainly the very best dealers in Europe. And we'll see more of these as we go along, but it's just sort of a little advance notice of that. And then you have this really nice Catagon, these puzzle pots as they call them. This is a very unusual one. It's blue and white decorated. It's got a lotus bud on the top of it, beautifully decorated. It is. Hold on a second here. It is 19 centimeters tall. So it's just a hair under 8 inches in height. It comes from the transitional period. It's estimated at 8 to 12,000 pounds, which I don't think is at all unreasonable. Here's a better shot of it right here. The side shot. It's got a fairly complicated layout. Leaves going onto the spout, beautifully decorated in the main part of the body, and then you have this lotus cup off to the side, and this very nicely done handle. It's a beautiful piece. And this guy was bought from Marchance at some point. There's a receipt in there, I believe, with this. Yeah, it's right here. So you can go through and you can read everything that the gallery had to say about it when they sold it to people. And of course, it goes with the piece. All this information will come with it. So you have very good provenance as you go along, which is extremely important on these things. All of these pieces are well provenanced. And that is going to become a bigger and bigger thing down the road. As you collect, and at some point you decide you want to sell the collection, or maybe you want to loan it to an institution, things with good provenance get a lot of attention. All right, now over to this, the frog, the three-legged toad. This is a very good one. It's Kosamatsuki ware. It measures, these usually aren't terribly big, 12 centimeters in height. 13, well, it's either, they don't say, it's 12 by 10 by 13. I'm assuming 12 centimeters is the height and 13 centimeters is the length. So it's about 5 inches tall, roughly, just about that. But it's a beautiful, beautiful form, the rare form. And it's the three-legged toad. There are all these myths about the three-legged toad. One of them is that the story of the three-legged toad is that he could tell the difference between good and evil. And if there's an evil person around, he'll detect it by emitting smoke. out of him, and he emits smoke. And if the person gags and hates the smell and reacts to it, then he's a bad person. And if he likes the smell, he's a good person. And that's just one of the stories. There are numerous three-legged toad stories. That's just one of them. I had a huge painting once that had an immortal standing laughing and smiling with a three-legged toad below him, covering him in smoke. It was pretty fun. Anyway, sold it to a guy that owns a big restaurant. Anyway, this is nice. It's estimated at 20 to 40,000 pounds, or euros rather. It is a very rare type. If you're scratching your head saying, I haven't really ever seen one of those, it's because they're very, very rare. They do not turn up often. The starting price is 16,000 euros. Very rare, very fine. And then there's this. This is one of the nicest blue and white incense burners I've ever seen. I'll just say it. It's Wan Li, mark and period. But the quality of the work on this is just mind-blowing. From the depiction of the immortals on it, to the border decoration, to the potting, to the beautifully shaped handles, the beautiful white glaze. This is I suspect from the early part of the Wan Li period, but very fine quality. There's a good front shot of it all the way around. Beautiful condition. It's got this very nice cage. They got it at Marchants in London. Estimate 25 to 50,000 euros, 20,000 euro opening bid. And it measures 26 centimeters long and 30 centimeters tall. So it's a foot tall. This is a pretty big incense burner. And one of the nicest ones I've ever seen in underglazed blue. Just absolutely spectacularly good. Love it. Just love that. And then over to this, the box, Wan Li mark and period box with dragons, very finely done, of course. Let's get to the top of it. Hold on. There it is. Beautiful, beautiful, a very sort of Buddhist layout with the umbrella, the wheel, the urns, and then interspersed with lotus flowers all around it. Nicely done, well spaced, reticulated top. You could barely see the holes for the incense to come out. And then they have this blue background with a darker blue decoration framing it, and then it's surrounded by dragons. It's a wonderful piece, and the mark is on the bottom of the box. It's a Marchant piece. There we go, and wonderfully paired dragons going all the way around it, top and bottom. And the lid fits quite well. It's a good fit lid. 25 to 50,000 euros, 20,000 euro opening bid. And then moving along over to this is a very nice jar. And a very unusual jar. It's Wan Li mark and period, and it's dated. It's dated 1597. And it measures 22 centimeters tall, so about 9 or so inches in height, but beautiful quality. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful lotus flowers on it, sort of serpentine vines, repeat patterns, beautifully potted. It's got everything going for it. Again, early in the period, very, very fine work all the way around. And then the bottom of it has the mark of the period and the date. And that's very unusual. And this one, I believe they bought at Rob Michiels. It was bought at Rob Michiels. This was one of the later things they bought. It says here that they paid 49,000 euros for it 6 years ago when they bought this, and it's back up basically estimated in the range that it sold for last time, 25 to 50,000. I don't think it's unreasonable. It dated in market period and in this quality in a nice pot like this is pretty rare. It's extremely rare. And then over to this. Very unusual. Those of you that buy like Kangxi porcelain are going to notice right away what's unusual about these jars. They're underglazed blue, underglazed red, and underglazed celadon, all in one piece. And these do not turn up often. Generally, you see that color combination most of the time really only on brush pots. And here you have it on dragons coming out of clouds. And these are pretty good size. They measure 34 centimeters or about 14 and a half inches tall or so, almost 15 inches tall. And it's a pair. Snow white bodies, Beautiful underglazed red. The underglazed red on it really came through well. That's the other thing. It isn't. Sometimes underglazed red, the copper, it discolors a bit. It gets a little bit too brown. It doesn't have much red in it. These have a lot of red in it, and the cobalt came out very strongly. Very, very nice, strong cobalt decoration all the way around. Good use of negative space, and nicely potted. The shapes of the pots are extremely attractive. The way the lids are done, and then the body itself, very, very, very proportional and very perfect. And the bottoms, I don't think they didn't. I'm forgetting what they had on the bottom for a mark. They got the artisanal leaf on the bottom, but very typical of Kangxi wares. That's what you want to see. And estimated. Now these are estimated, I think, very reasonably actually, 15 to 25,000 euros. And to have underglazed blue, underglazed red, and the celadon on one piece. The brush pots with that on it. One little brush pot in this color palette, they'll sell for $30,000 or $40,000 pretty comfortably. And here you got two big jars with that same thing, and they're in very, very nice condition. Where did he get these anyway? Mark Michaud over in Michaud, and he's in Bruges. He's a dealer. He's a very good dealer over there. I'm not surprised. Yeah, that's nice. And then over to this, the brush pot. Again, this, I think they also got this at Marchant's, didn't they? Yeah, they bought this at Marchant's. But a very, very fine, let's see, it's the blue and white Xi'an at the Battle of Fei River brush pot, or Bitong as they refer to it. There it is. Excellent decoration, very, very fine. You catching a theme here. Very, very finely painted, very controlled drawing, nicely done figures in the scene. Everything is perfectly proportional, well framed, upper and lower sections. You got this geometric patterning at the top, and then floral at the bottom. There's a mark on the base of the pot. But overall, it's a very nice one. And then they're sitting at a table enjoying the day, and then behind them is the very classical landscape of rocky Scholars Rocks, rocky outcroppings, and pine trees and so forth. It's beautifully done, beautifully done. 60 to 120,000 euros. It's a very rare brush pot. And then over to this really nice Zun. It's a Mark and Period Wan Li one example. Of course, this is based on the early bronze forms. It measures around, I think, 8 inches tall, 8.5, 8.75 inches tall, 21 centimeters, but beautifully done, nicely done dragon on it, good color, and sort of a complicated pottery model here with the slight step in the foot coming up, and then these flanges on the side of the body, and then tapering back in and then going up. Wonderful example, nice white ground. Pretty perfect, pretty darn perfect. Again, 80 to 120,000 euro estimate, 65,000 euro opening bid, which is 65,000 euros is about says here $74,000 U.S. currency, but well worth it. It was another Marchant purchase, but just beautiful quality. And this is what people are going to be paying for. And then over to this. This is nice. This is a Ling Long incense holder. Ming Dynasty. This one they're dating to the Wan Li period. The color, the composition is excellent. It almost looks Kangxi. It's so fine. The cobalt is so good on this. It's got the Buddha swastika in the reticulated openings and so forth. And this very, very attractive base and so forth. Nice looking thing all the way around. And it measures about little around 6 inches tall. These aren't never terribly big. There it is. And you got this one, Georg Welsh, another one of the best dealers in Europe, specializes in China trade and all kinds of things. So if you haven't got any of the Welsh catalogs, get them. They're beautifully illustrated and well written. And this one measures 15 centimeters, 15.6 centimeters. So it's just a hair over 6 inches tall. So it's not terribly big, but it's superb quality. 6 to 12,000 euros, 4,800 euro opening bid. Very, very attractive. And then over to this. This is now many of you that buy the Kingfisher plate that was done in the Kangxi period. This is one of the holy grails of the Kangxi plate world, they do not turn up often, and when they do, usually there's an awful lot of interest in them. And here you have the Kingfisher in the middle, and then the lotus, beautiful, beautiful red lotus flower on the right, and all this other coloring, beautiful, excellent February decoration throughout. And then you go through it. There's the back of it. pretty simple, straight up. Typical slight ivory toning to the foot rim. Very finely done, though. Notice how thin the foot is on this. Really excellently potted, superb potting. And these were done for the Kangxi court. 15 to 25,000 euro estimate. It was bought. Well, it was. Let's see. It came from Van Uwerwerk in Switzerland from his collection. Then it went to Marchance, and then it went to the current owner, the Mr. and Mrs. Bert Davos collection. Those are the people that own all this stuff. Beautiful material. And then hopping along over to this, I love these. These were great. A couple of shrimp and pone plates with the Xuande mark on the bottom, done during the Kangxi to the Chongshen period. They call these Kosamatsuki wares, made for the Japanese market in China back in the day. And but these are very unusual. To see the crayfish on here like this, and very nicely done too. A lot of Kosamatsuki wares a little crude at times. These are very fine. These are quite excellent actually, and they probably measure around 7 inches in diameter, roughly 8 inches. This is sort of on the bigger side. It's 8 inches wide. Nicely done. Very nicely done. And then hopping along over to this is a wonderful pot. It's got an 80 to 120,000 euro estimate, but it's a very fine Zhejiang period Ming Dynasty jar with this kid on it, but riding the carp. But notice the quality of the work. Again, the Zhejiang period, when they got it right, boy, they really got it right. And this is a nice one. I like all the border decorations. The repeat pattern is meticulous on it. It's got that same vine at the top that you see on so many 16th century, in particular, 16th and early 17th century too, late Ming pieces, but very cleanly and crisply done. You notice that, right? I mean, there's no sloppiness, there's no bleeding. The colors are deep. The cobalt toning is excellent on this, with immortal figures going on it. There's the bottom of it. Pretty much what you want to see every time. And it's estimated at 60 to 120,000 euros. And this one was bought, from Louis Allegria in Paris. He's a dealer. He's been over there since the he sells all kinds of things. He sells French furniture and whatnot too, and Biedermeier and all kinds of things. But he also has a very good eye for Chinese things. He's been around for about for 40 years. He opened in the 80s, as I recall, somewhere in the 80s. I'm not sure when exactly, but sometime in the 80s. And he sells beautiful things. So they obviously popped in to pay him a visit. I believe they bought a couple of things from him, as a matter of fact. And then over here to this, the reticulated double-walled hookah bases. These are beautiful. And you see these, this is sort of a Ming thing that you do see. You see the cups and bowls fairly often, but you don't see a pair of blue and white hookah bases with brown dressing in this color, in this size, not very often. If you're scratching your head thinking about it, you don't see them very much. They measure 23 centimeters, or around just about 9 inches tall, a little over 9 inches in height. And the estimate, I think, is very reasonable. These have a bit more. I think the estimate is underplaying them a little bit here. 6 to 12,000 euros with a 4,800 euro opening bid for the pair. These are very rare. And the reticulated walls look excellent. You want to double check to make sure that none of the reticulation areas have been repaired or there's any damage to any of them. I suspect there isn't, but knowing this, the overall quality of this collection would indicate that they're probably perfect too. But you would want to double check. You always want to double check always with ceramics for condition, so you don't have an argument later about it. But these are quite lovely. And again, you don't see them very often. And these came from these were from Bertrand Laverne in Paris. Another very good store. And now hopping along over to the teapots. These are quite excellent. And where did these come from? These came from Louis Allegria. I think he's closed now, actually. Laverne in Paris is still there, but I think Allegria is closed. I'm not sure. You have to check on that. But at any rate, these are lovely gold-mounted. I don't know if it's gold plate or gold mounted teapots. Exceptional quality, and it's a pair. And you don't see pairs of these very often. They are Kangxi. They're $6,000 to $12,000 estimate with a 48 or 6 to 12,000 euro estimate, 4,800 euro opening bid. But excellent quality, and again, it's a pair. They have beautiful mounts on them. Very, very elegant and tasteful. Just quite good all the way around. These look very nice. Yeah, they look very good. Um, So you get a shot at those, and then last is this. This is a set of books that are at the end of this sale, and if you love Yuan and Ming and early Qing things, and you don't have this set of books, try to get it. It's the Topkapi Saray Museum in Istanbul collection, and it was written back in the 1980s by Regina Crowell and John Ayres. And this is a fully illustrated series. They're beautifully done, beautifully printed, top quality illustrations. They're elegant, wonderful books, and they're fairly good sized books too. These aren't little tiny, 8 by 10s, and they've got a whole section in here on the marks that you're going to find on these pieces. It's a meticulously researched thing. This is not a book with just pretty pictures and interesting views. This is a book that's got information, data, history, backstory histories going back into China, where they came from, when they came into the court, what the phases the court went through, where the shapes were devised, and so forth. Here are the blue and white pieces. And you'll see some extraordinarily rare pieces. And this is in this current sale that we're talking about. There are pieces like this in here, these elephants. And there's a bunch of them at the museum at the Topkapi. And again, Ming Wanli plates. And then you have other later Ming pieces. You got some early Ming pieces. You got everything in here. Anyway, if you don't have this book and this set of books, these 3 books, and you've been wanting it or you didn't know about it, now you know about it. The estimate is 8 to 1,200 euros for the set, which is not unreasonable. This is a very hard set to get. I think they didn't make that many of them. I think they had either made 500 or maybe 1,000 sets of them 40 years ago. Not that many, and it was sort of a hallmark at the time. I remember when the book was published, and everybody was so excited they were publishing this book. And it's pretty much what the dealers were talking about in new reference material for that year. Very popular, very popular. Anyway, so that sort of covers it. But go through, take a look at the sale. Go through the page at the beginning here that we started with all the pieces in here, and just sort of browse it. Take your time. You're going to find some wonderful examples in here. But I'm doing this now because the sale is going to get a lot of attention, and you've got over 3 weeks, you got over 4 weeks, almost 5 weeks to get ahead of it as far as information and things. If you want to buy something from Rob, it'll give you plenty of time to submit questions and ask things, and give them time in fairness to the auction house so that they can reply as well. Because there's nothing worse for an auctioneer to get flooded with inquiries 3 days before the sale. That's not how to do it. Be polite. Get your inquiries in early. Let them respond, and then you get better answers, more detailed answers, and you have time to double check on things. Because some of these pieces are being offered for fairly significant amounts of money, and you want to make sure you're getting what you think you're getting. All right, so that sort of covers it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here if you haven't so far. I think about a third of our viewers have never subscribed. It's the same people. YouTube keeps saying, you get all these returning people, they don't bother subscribing. So subscribe to the channel, then you get notified when things come up. As you know, these videos typically post every Friday around 5:30 to 6:30 in the evening, unless there's an upload problem. Oh, auto dubbing. A couple of people mentioned that YouTube has put in this thing where they can auto dub voices, so that if you're an English speaker and you want to have it dubbed in French or something, you can do it. All right, but something happened on their system, and it took the video I put up yesterday about the eBay litigation case, and they auto dubbed my voice, and I never turned it on, but it turned itself on somehow. We have removed it, and so it shouldn't be appearing again, because it's awful. But it's part of this, I guess, this AI stuff they're working on, and it'll be the end of us all. If you watched that video and you heard that very strange voice on there that didn't sound at all like me, that's what it was. It was YouTube trying to be helpful. So it's been removed, and we re-uploaded that video today so that without the dubbed voices and all the weird noises it made. So again, I apologize for that. If you if you tried to watch that video, somebody emailed me and they said, I think you got the auto dub on, and then I went and somebody had commented that the auto dubbing was on, and I went and checked, and I never turned it on, but it was initiated, and it took a while for me to figure out how to get the thing shut off and it doesn't reappear. So anyway, that's it for the day. Have a great weekend, and we'll be back next week with more videos. And enjoy your summer. Enjoy your summer. The weather's terrific right now. Weather's beautiful. All righty. Bye bye.